Hello everyone, welcome to the new episode of Art Trouble Cast. Today's topic will be what we did before we became full-time artists.
I started my first job at the age of 18. I remember that one of the friends I lived with offered me a job in one of the restaurants in Midtown. I was a waitress and worked there for several months. It was a life lesson. It happened that I had 26 shifts a month, several hours a day. Two-story restaurant with a garden, open bars on weekend, no contract. My best memory is that when I left my job, the restaurant closed because the owner went bankrupt.
Every company you left went bankrupt. As my first job, it was a French bistro in Warsaw. I had no experience and I got the job only because I knew the basics of French. And the owner was French and no one understood him. As it turns out, neither did I.
I never know it's a compliment or an insult. But you learn to make the best buckwheat pancakes there. And I forgot that before I started working in a mentioned restaurant, I was on training for 3 days in a regional restaurant serving Polish food. Ultimately, I didn't stay there, but I remember with a smile the outfit I had to wear there. Colorful folk dress, red lips, and shoes. And it was an experience.
Yeah, it's true. I make the best pancakes, but I had to throw away all my clothes because they smelled so much of oil. I remember coming to this restaurant to see what you looked like in this outfit, and it was an experience. And the fact that you tried to learn what these dumplings were made of, and there were probably 100 types of them.
Yes, minimum 100. Then, wrongly, I went to another city to study, and at first I worked in the cafe called Cutie. but but I didn't stay there for long because apart from having to prepare all the sandwiches and smoothies myself, over time I also had to go shopping every morning because the delivery didn't arrive.
Great name. I remember that in this French bistro, I also went out through to back door to do some shopping, and the guests were sitting in the room. I pretended I didn't work here. Generally, such situations happen to me very often in the gastronomy.
Definitely. Working in the catering industry teaches you about life. Then I started working in a hotel and a restaurant at the same time, but finally I decided to stay in the hotel. Fortunately, we had a permanent team of 3 or 4 people and serving 200-person trips from another countries. It was not as scary as it made seem. As for the restaurant, we mainly played cards at the bar with breaks for weddings.
Like in a casino. My second job was a short stint at the center. The restaurant was huge. Two gardens, 3 floors, a very large menu. Basically, I knew from the very beginning that I wouldn't find my way there. It was Saturday, the middle of summer, a crowd of guests. I remember that I was taking dishes from the table, and another waiter kept adding them to me until everything turned over and fell in the middle of the room. It was my last day. I never went back there.
I remember that there was a guy who started working in this restaurant where weddings were. Held during his first shift, someone wrongly recommended him to hold a tray of champagne And out of stress, he tripped and spilled the champagne on the bride's wedding dress. This was his first and last change.
Iconic. I got another job in a small sushi hand roll place in the center. There wasn't even a toilet in the place, so I had to go to the restaurant next door to pee. On my first day of work, not a single person come and the profit was zero.
Yes, I remembered. At that time, I returned to Warsaw and started studying a new field. I took a job at the reception desk in a bank corporation. It was my favorite job. I could read books and watch people for 10 hours.
Yeah, and drink coffee.
Yes.
I remember that you encouraged me to work at the reception so that I wouldn't have to struggle so much in the gastronomy, but I decided to work in the vegan restaurant.
I remember, especially since you had a lot of traffic there. And then I took a job at a French bistro, but the tips were too low and the pandemic started. So it happened perfectly and I stopped working there.
Yeah, the best job is no job. It was difficult in the vegan restaurant. There was a lot of traffic, especially in the summer when there were huge concerts nearby. And how everything was done in the gastronomy, working in the kitchen, serving people, cleaning, all. I remember that in the summer I had 1 day off a month.
Anyone who worked in catering doesn't loud in a circus. And after pandemic, I returned to work at the reception desk in a bank corporation. If it weren't for the fact that I couldn't work full time due my studies, I would certainly have stayed there. But the manager needed someone full time. Then I got a job at Tiger shopping mall, but I stayed there for 2-3 months. Since then, I don't like shopping malls.
The shopping mall is real hell. After I finished working in a vegan restaurant, I decided that I was fed up with gastronomy and took a job as a receptionist in a huge company. It wasn't the best idea. It turns out that the office series doesn't lie. The system doesn't work, people are idiots, and they blame you for everything. Hell. But I read a lot of books and watched a lot of movies.
Working with people requires nerves of steel. Right after graduation, I returned to corporate banking once again, but this time for a night shift. I lacked nothing. I read books and watched films, and the security guards brought me tea. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay there longer, and I took a job at the reception desk in a apartment building. There was no toilet there, and I had to go to the shopping mall next door. And in addition, the electrical system didn't work, and the entrance door kept opening, and it was cold inside. And I worked there in the winter. After that, I took my last job at a gas company. The advert said it was a reception job, so I focused on reading books again. Unfortunately, it turned out that I was the person responsible for everything from administration, invoicing to shopping for all employees. 5 in 1. But despite everything, I have good memories of the people working there.
Yeah, working in an office means constant scandals, gossip, snitching, and stupid rules that bring nothing and make work difficult. Plus, these people, co-workers and superiors. Adults behave like primary school children. I don't recommend it. The day I left was the most beautiful day of my life.
Yes, working in a corporation is the worst evil for me. But it's a great observation of human behavior. Finally, I would like to add that in addition to my more full time job, I also tutored and edited texts. The latter, unfortunately, is definitely too unprofitable, especially since I had education because I graduated in Polish philology. But this is the profession I choose.
Between jobs, I also gave private lessons of art history and Polish language. I was also a babysitter, but it turned out that the boy I was taking care of had mental problems and I didn't like children. I also did wedding makeup, but working with women was not on my nerves.
Great ending. In the meantime, we created paintings, of course, but unlikely, it's not easy to think about art when working in a cooperation or even full time. But this is an eternal problem for artists. Okay, thank you for listening to our episode and see you next Tuesday.